Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform, become your spiritual server. And welcome to the daily reading for today, Wednesday, October 10th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me on this video, and boy, oh boy, like for real, we have a really powerful day today. Arguably one of the most powerful of the week. Cards that we have for today are the Page of Wands, the Ten of Wands. We also have the card of Blue, which is activate your healing power. And we're definitely going to need that today. Why are we going to need it today? Well, let's look at a bit of the astrology. Today, we do have Mercury, which has shifted into Scorpio, making its opposition to Uranus retrograde at 1 degree. This is our mind, the communication, and also our close proximity, making this opposition over to Uranus, which is in Taurus. And Uranus, of course, is about the future, electricity, innovation, and the sign of Taurus, which is about groundedness, practicality, manifestation. So right now, our minds are just barely dipping their toe into the underworld, just barely dipping in. And even just that one toe into the underworld will bring about a rush of deep currents, desires, wants, what we really want, what really turns us on. And now we're going to be kind of looking at our surroundings and what we have manifested in. We're going to really be questioning our manifestation powers and how we go about bringing things into this reality. So today's going to be a day where, you could potentially like freak yourself out or wig yourself out if you're not satisfied with how things are, with how things look. And we also have to consider that we do have the moon, which is in Scorpio. It's going to conjunct Venus today, but Venus, of course, is not in its strongest power. It's retrograde in a sign that doesn't like in Scorpio. Normally when the moon and Venus meet up, it's more of a celebration because they like meeting up. But now, and the moon doesn't like to be in Scorpio either, so the moon's going to be a little bit more, positive, a little bit more, optimistic than Venus. And what's bringing even more intensity to this aspect is the fact that we do have the Venus-Mars square come to its apex today at 10 degrees. So there's going to be a bit of this shift in the energies, because if you think about it, Venus in many ways can represent the feminine energy, and Mars can represent this masculine energy. And now that Mars is out of shadow, moving forward in a sign that it doesn't mind to be in, it likes being in Aquarius, but Venus doesn't like to be in Scorpio, and it's retrograde. It's in review period. Today is going to be a day where you really want to pay attention. You really want to watch your reactions, because today is kind of like us opening up the door into Trigger City. Like I've been saying, that this whole Venus retrograde and a lot of October and into November is going to be Trigger City. Like seriously, like even just the smallest minute things might really piss people off. And I don't really want to say it, but I have to say the truth. It's like this feminine energy, which needs to go through a review period and how we open up and receive things. But it's about to get hit with some really intense energies, some really intense aspects, and this is kind of this first one with this square over to Mars. Now that Mars is finally at its full power, coming forward out of shadow in Aquarius, which means it's like Mars is going to be concerned about the future and moving things forward, and Venus is going to be, of course, wanting to fix things on a deeper level, but Mars is not going to have it. Mars doesn't really want to worry about that stuff. Mars is going to want to detach from all that. Meanwhile, Venus is going to be wanting to, hold on and really figure out these deep emotions. So some people might feel like they get kind of left behind by the currents, because You know, there's going to be this one strong, you know, forward moving, protruding energy. That's this male energy that's being exuded from Mars. It's initiation energy. But it's almost going to feel like the feminine energy is going to be, it's going to almost feel like it's getting dragged a bit here. And that might be uncomfortable for people. It's going to be uncomfortable for all of us on some level. But it's going to make things uncomfortable. The only other really thing that kind of helps this out is the fact that Jupiter also moves out of shadow today. So it's like the apex of this square. Jupiter is also moving out of shadow. It will come to 24 degrees of Scorpio today. Thank God, I'm really happy about that. So of course, Jupiter of course is going to be expanding upon these deeper desires and wants, and how can we express ourselves from this state. So, and of course, like I said, with the moon here in Scorpio now, we really are going to be feeling more into these deeper passions, wants, desires, these deeper currents, these deeper emotional realities. So today, and let's talk about the cards too, because that's really important. I really think it's interesting how we have these cards here. We have the Page of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Now the Page of Wands, I like to think of pages as the apprentice, and of course this is talking about this fire energy. So I think in many ways this is relating to Mars. But I think the blue, activate your healing potential, is relating actually to Scorpio energy. But what's happening here is I feel like the Ten of Wands is literally like the parent of the Page of Wands in this case. Because you have the Ten of Wands, which is about kind of having a heavy load, a heavy burden, and being responsible for a lot of different things, and it speaks to needing rest. But what I really feel like is, in the case of this reading, is that the Ten of Wands is almost like the father figure of the Page of Wands. And I felt the Ten of Wands had to work so hard to clear the way for the Page of Wands, so the Page of Wands can innovate, so the Page of Wands can do something different, so the Page of Wands can adapt differently to the circumstances so they may evolve. And this is really just a tenet of parenthood in general, right? Parents want better for their children. Parents will oftentimes go to great lengths and sacrifice their own dreams so their children may, you know, have their own dreams, so that their children may succeed and go after their own dreams. But a lot of times what happens is that parents will neglect themselves, neglect their own dreams. They will carry such a heavy load, and a lot of times that load is completely unknown to the child. It really is, and it's kind of funny because I look back at even my own childhood, and I can only imagine now, you know, at the age that I am right now, I'm 26, I can only imagine the kind of storms and the kind of hits that my parents took, and I was not even aware of them because things just seemed like everything was going well. But they took those hits, they took those burdens on, so I could have the childhood that I had, which was overall great. Of course, we all have traumas in our childhood, but overall it was great. I feel my parents did an incredible job. I love my parents, but I think a lot of time what happens is that, you know, they take on so much of this work to pave the way for the Page of Wands, and it's really up to the Page of Wands on whether or not they're going to wave that wand and manifest the same circumstances, or they're going to activate that healing potential, activate that healing power, and do something different, speak something else. When I think of blue, I think of course, you think of the throat chakra, you think of the sky, which I think the sky is blue not because of the reflection off the water. I think the sky is blue because that's where all the voices are. I think when we speed things out, they float, and then that is what makes the sky blue. It's the throat chakra. That's that deep blue. At least this is what I believe. I think it's also the well of dreams, but that's another whole story. Today's going to be a day where you're going to see how the way has sort of been paved for you. How the generations prior, whether we can all blame each other and point fingers on who's to blame for the reason why things are the way that they are, but the generations that come before you paved the way for you to be where you are now. And of course, they took some gifts, they took some things for themselves on the way there. And we can see the things that they took on the way there as, you know, them hurting us, or we can see it as they were just doing what they felt they needed or deserved in that time period. You know, we weren't around yet. So this is kind of almost like a moment where we can even heal generational energies. But I really do feel that today is going to be a day where there's going to be this sort of pressure that's placed on us. And we're really going to be called to really heal these deeper aspects, these deeper wounds, because we also have to consider, what else does Scorpio rule? It rules stubbornness. It rules hexes and curses. It rules grudges. So a lot of this energy is going to come up too that needs to be healed. And it's a hard pill to swallow for the feminine energy too. And it's going to go both ways too. But Mars is not done. Mars still has to finish up in Aquarius, and it has to go through Pisces, which means that means the Mars energy is about to go through a major spiritual wash. And a lot of people probably aren't necessarily ready for that Mars in Pisces. I'm a little bit ready for it, only because I have my natal Mars in the 12th house, so I kind of understand this energy. But it's going to be go time for sure, because we really are going to be called to really move forward, innovate, heal, and manifest a new reality. Today's also going to be a day about appreciation for our parents and the prior generation for having paved the way and carrying the load of the energies of that generation. Whether we saw that, and I will go ahead and bring this up because a lot of people like to blame baby boomers for everything. A lot of people like to blame millennials for why things are the way that they are. Every generation has its pros and its cons. Every generation has the things that it did to set up great things on this earth, and they've also done things to kind of take a little bit from this earth, to take a little bit of what they felt they deserved, right? Today's not about that. Today is about moving forward. Mars and Jupiter are out of shadow, so today is definitely a day about taking the next step in our evolution. You have a choice. You have a choice today. Use it wisely. That is it for your reading. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like a personal reading with me, beloved, I am running my sale. I extended my September sale all the way through October. And actually for the next, I think the next 4 or 5 days, you can get an extra percentage off by using the code Squirrel Squad. For the details of that, you can follow the link in the description below to the AquarianAdepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.